Do you have a faucet that drips like this? Well, today I'm going to show you how to fix it on this week's episode of DIY Dad. Stay tuned. Our first step is to shut off the water. My main supply valve here is broken, so now I have to go outside to turn off the main water at the house. Next, we need to remove the faucet handle, which requires a 3/32 hex wrench. After you turn off the water, also open the tap on the faucet to make sure all the water pressure is out. Be careful that you don't drop this little screw down the drain. I recommend closing the drain so you don't lose it. Now we can remove the handle. It might require a good tug, but just don't force it too hard. Now we can use a wrench or a pair of pliers to take off the nuts so we can have access to remove the cartridge. You can use the pliers just to loosen it a bit, and then from there you should be able to remove it by hand. Now we can remove the cartridge. It might be a little bit stuck, so I'm using a pair of pliers here to get it out. There we go, we got it. Here's the replacement cartridges that I'm going to use, and I also got a set of seats and springs to replace as well while we're in there, so let's get it done. Now I'm just going to take a rag and try to get up as much of the water out of that hole that I can. This will make our work a little bit easier. Now you can see the seat and spring in there. I'm just going to use a pair of tweezers to gently grab them out. Here they are. That black rubber piece is the seat, and the spring is right there. Now let's replace them. Here I'll put the seat and the spring on my hex wrench, and then I'll stick it into the hole just to kind of guide it, and then I'm going to use my finger to push it down and seat it in there all the way. You should feel it bounce a little bit, then you know it's in there correctly. Now I'm going to take this silicone grease and I'm going to put a little bit on the seat inside of the faucet. And here I'm going to do the same thing with the ring around the cartridge. Just making sure that O-ring has some good silicone grease on there to make it nice and easy to put back in and take out in the future if I ever need to. Now we can reinstall the cartridge. You want to make sure that the orientation is the same way putting it in that you took it out. Now make sure you reinstall the nut that holds the cartridge in, because if you don't, it will shoot off when you turn the water back on. We're going to get this finger tight and then just tighten it a little bit with the wrench, not too much, maybe a quarter turn, just to make sure that it's nice and snug. Now we can reinstall the handle and make sure that you put the set screw back in and tighten it back up. Now I'm just going to test the handle to make sure that it's going the correct directions, and it looks like we're good to go. Let's go turn the water back on. We're outside, let's turn the main water back onto the house. Now that the water's back on, I can see that there's no leaks in the sink. It looks like we did our job. Let's make sure that it works first. Excellent, it's working well. I also replaced the cartridge in the other side, just to make sure that I wouldn't have any issues with leaks in the future. Looks like it's great to go. Great job! Thanks, Ryobi.